Hello, it's Week School Line Report here back for another video. So, today we're going to be doing episode 3 of Forgotten Football States and Cities. And for this episode, we're going to be covering Memphis, Tennessee. So, we did Milwaukee, we did San Diego, but Memphis is the one I'm most excited to do so far. Just teams I won't be mentioning to start off. I will not be mentioning the Tennessee Oilers. They played in Memphis, but I don't count them. And I will also not be mentioning the Memphis Maniacs of the 2001 XFL. So without further ado, Chapter 1, the Memphis Southmen. So the Memphis Southmen were originally planned to be the Toronto Northmen with a polar bear logo, but the Canadian government threatened to sue or something, so they decided to move over to Memphis and become the Southmen, where they got a grizzly bear logo. And they averaged the most attendance in the league. They also signed Hall of Fame players from the undefeated Dolphins season. I believe two running backs and a wide receiver. I don't think they could play the first season though, due to some NFL things. In their opener, they had 30,000 fans packed in the stands as Elvis sang the national anthem. Yes, Elvis. They finished 7-4 in the shortened season in 1975. But in their first season, they really had a lot of success because in the 1974 season, they finished with a 17-3 record. So they were really good. Win the World League of Football. I don't really remember the name, WLF, something like that. So they applied to be an expansion NFL team since at the time there was no Tennessee Titans. It was declined by the NFL though, so that would finish off the Memphis Southmen. So just moving on to chapter 2. So the Showboats, the team that won't die. So the Showboats have been a very historical franchise in the alt football community. The Showboats played in the original 80s USFL, 2023 USFL, and the merged UFL for 24 and 25. In the first season, they they finished 11-7 and made the playoffs. They reached the West Conference Final, but in their second season, they fell to 7-11. Missing the playoffs. The team rose to fame for helping Reggie White get into pro football and having legendary Larry Poole, later known as Lex Luger, in the WWF and WCW, where he had a moderately successful run in pro wrestling. Fans also loved the team just like the Southmen before them. They had a 50,000 seat sellout in the final game. They played in the unsuccessful 1984 season. The 2023 return was also interesting. They were originally not supposed to be a team when the USFL came back, but the struggling Tampa Bay Bandits franchise was moved over to Memphis to bring back the Showboat. They finished with a 5-5 record, the best they did in the team's return. When the USFL and XFL merged the following year, the Showboats, to some people's shock, made the cut, including my shock. But the UFL era did not do them well. They finished 2-8 in 2024 and 2025, being towards the bottom of the league both years. It was also an all-time low, averaging less than 4,000 people per game. The UFL announced that three franchises would be moving, which included Memphis. They packed their things and went over to Louisville, Kentucky. After an 0-3 start, the Kings made a comeback and finished 6-4 and won the UFL United Bowl in the biggest turnaround in the UFL. Chapter 3, the team that should have never existed. The CFL was interesting in the 90s. They decided to move on to the US and try and capture markets the NFL hasn't used, with the Sacramento Gold Miners being the first team. The Memphis Mad Dogs joined the league in the 95 season. They finished their season with a 9-9 record. It was definitely a difficult situation being in the Liberty Bowl. So just shout out to the Liberty Bowl because they have basically been the home to all of these teams. Um, but with that, obviously since it's American, like we are in America, the fields aren't built for Canadian football, which have longer fields, different goalposts, and all that. So it was very dangerous what they were doing to try and fix the field. Luckily, it did not hurt anyone, and the Mad Dogs did finish with the 9-9 record, which was respectable. Um, the attendance was horrible. I mean, obviously, since it was in the summer, you don't want to go up in a hot stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. So most people did not show up. And after that 95 season, the CFL decided the US experiment did not work, and they went back to being Canadian fully. Chapter 4: The team always overlooked. The Express played in the short-lived Alliance of American Football in 2019 and were one of the worst teams in the league, finishing 2-6 after the league ceased operations. In the opener, they got shut out by the Birmingham Iron in an embarrassing loss. The team never found a QB they fully trusted. They cycled through 4 QBs in the 8 games played. The real standout was Brandon Silvers, who currently plays in the United Football League and is on the St. Louis Battlehawks and did start at the start of the season. But after a short-lived career in the CFL, Johnny Manziel, the former first round pick, I believe, by the Cleveland Browns, was signed to the AAF. The AAF was desperate for attention and mainstream focus, so they decided to assign Manziel to the Express, even with Silvers getting the win prior. Manziel lost both the games he played in and did suffer a concussion on the last game that they played, but right after that, basically, the the AAF folded. So if there's any teams you want me to cover from Memphis, I'll look into it. That would do it for this episode. If there are any other ones, I can look into it. Maybe we see a Memphis Maniacs one, but they were kind of short-lived. So if you want any more history videos, I could try and kick them up for you, but that'll be it. Take care.